Lee, I thought I would tell you something about myself that you don't know.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So I used to work in a bank. Did you know that?
Vaguely, maybe, but I don't think I did.
Okay. Well, I did for a little while, but I got fired.
Oh.
Yeah, because a guy came in and asked me to check his balance, and I pushed him over.
Oh, wow.
I know, that's bad. That's a bad joke. I never worked in a bank, but I have had a lot of different jobs, just as Lee has. But Lee, you probably want to actually know what the topic is today instead of what my corny joke is.
Yes.
Today, I thought we would talk about one thing that you love to talk about, and that is learning to just be.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Unexpected Podcast.
Well, part of learning to just be for you and me is our silly, quirky sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought I'd share a silly joke with you earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, did I forget that she worked in a bank? It's like, why do I now picture her working in a bank? Was that real?
Right, because we've been married for 26 years now, so you probably know most of the jobs
I know
I've
you
had
were like
before.
worked as an EKG technician out of high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during the summers between college, I would go back to my hometown, work at a hospital. I've worked restaurants, both waiting tables and kitchens. I've worked minor construction types of jobs twice, which is interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What other kind of jobs? I mean, sales.
Yeah.
Taught school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before landing my long-time gig.
Yeah.
That I have right now as a cataloging and metadata librarian, which is my current title.
That's a pretty cool job, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're very much of a information nerd.
It's true.
You like that stuff.
I'm a nerd. I like data, but I love books, and being able to be around books all the time is pretty cool.
It is cool. It's like me. I get to be around my studio equipment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
But learning to be, it's something that we've really been focused on lately. And that encompasses a lot, but
it's a deep subject.
Well, yeah, but it's also a simple subject. So why don't you jump off with
learning how to be?
Yeah, telling how you define that.
So, as most of you know, I've been going through some medical issues. I've been going through some different things, some employment problems, some different issues there.
Mm-hmm.
But I am learning how to just be. I've known this concept for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be really good at it. But then I let life get in the way, and I let stress get in the way. So learning just to be is really a return to what God intended in the garden, I believe. And let me expound upon that. When Adam and Eve took from the knowledge of good, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what they did is they took on a part of God that did not gel with how he created us. And they beforehand they didn't worry, they didn't have any problems, they didn't, I mean, they had issues to deal with, but they executed these issues with grace.
And I would say joy, and like a childlike wonder.
And childlike.
Yeah.
So without worry. If you guys can remember back when you were 4 or 5 or whatever, that age, when things of the world didn't really concern you, they didn't really bother you. All you knew was I got a mom and a dad, or, some situations was I had a caretaker. I had somebody who was going to take care of me. Now, there are children out there and that's not what I'm talking about.
Right. There are exceptions to that.
There are exceptions to that.
Of course.
But I am saying that when kids have this unconditional faith that somebody is going to take care of them, this unconditional faith and understanding that they're going to be all right.
They don't
That
even
everything is
understand that bills have to be paid at some point.
They don't
They
have
just
that-
know that there's
Right.
a house, there's a roof over their head,
Right.
they have food.
So
Yeah.
understanding those concepts of letting go and just being. Yes, we have issues, we have all that, but how do we execute those?
Mm.
We need to be able to suppress the worry, the stress, and all of the things of this world that so easily beset us. And what that means is sets us apart from what our true focus is, which is loving God and loving people.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we get distracted from that, then we're not being. We're
Mm-hmm.
just being. And I know this cliche, but we're called human beings.
Mm.
Beings.
Yeah, not human doings.
Not human doings.
That's good.
And so when we are going through life, yes, stuff happens. Bills have to be paid. You know, children act foolish. Our parents act foolish. We act foolish. We all just mess it all up and we get all crazy. There's still a place to get back to where none of that affects us. And that's where we're going. And that's what we need to be going to. Learning how to just breathe and be.
Mm-hmm.
These people used to get on my nerves whenever I'll be busy trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't have a care in the world.
Mm.
They just, it's like, yeah, it'll get done. It's all good. I'm going to take my time. We're on a deadline. We got to get this done. And
Yeah.
you're like in go mode. But what I've found, and I know that you could attest to this, the moment we stop worrying about the issue, the moment we quote unquote give up on it and say, all right, God, it's in your hands. 9 times out of 10, it just happens and gets done quicker than we ever thought it would be done.
Yeah. You know, you and I both have what would be deemed the type A personality. I don't know if that terminology gets used very much anymore, but, you know, we're kind of hyper focused on what needs to happen. We're not chill and laid back by nature. And I think we can learn from people who are like that. So there are certain people who I think have a natural propensity towards that natural personality.
Yeah.
And I remember one time going to the boys' elementary school, and our neighbor's daughter was called to the office or something. Not because she was in trouble, but she was needed or something. And I remember the lady who worked in the main office said, you know, she just doesn't get in a hurry about anything. And I thought it was so interesting how, like, she had this natural personality to not worry and not get in a hurry. It doesn't mean that she wasn't going to do what she needed to do. And I have observed that in people. And like you said, I've been in situations where you're like, why are they not like more concerned about this getting worked out? And then you realize, like, oh, everything fell into place. Huh? Why was I so upset?
And this doesn't mean that you're lazy.
No.
This doesn't mean that
but
you
going
go
back to the garden, Adam wasn't lazy.
No,
He was,
they worked
they were
until
busy
and they did their thing.
Yes.
But I think the difference is I have a tendency to think 5 or 6 steps ahead of where I'm at instead of being where I am. And so that is part of being, is enjoying what's in front of you and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, being present in the moment.
In the moment and understanding that there is nothing I can do except pray, love God, and love people. Understanding that just that right there, the simplicity of that is all I have to worry about. And then I can grow into deeper things after that and grow. And it becomes easier because there are some people that are extremely brilliant and it's easy for them and it's something that they love to do. Like me, I love talking about string theory and theoretical physics of, like, you know, M theory and you know, the separation of dimensions and all that stuff and how it relates to the Bible. I like That's not Scientology. That's just fun for me to think about. Wow, we are not alone with this whole what we see in here.
Right. There's more.
There's more out
than
there.
What we
that
see.
Comes fairly simple to me because I just have faith that God's created way more than what we can ever know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I get to understand it.
Right. Well, and I want to go back to something you said about thinking many steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can actually be a positive thing if you're a person who strategizes, or maybe you're a person who makes lists. For me, actually, like making a list of things that need to be done actually enables me to be in the moment a little bit better, because it's like, okay, I had these things on the list, but now I'm taking this item.
Well, it takes it out of your head and puts it on paper.
Yeah, and it helps you focus.
And you focus on that one little bitty task.
Yeah.
That's how I used to do my homework for college, was what's in front of me is the most important subject ever. So if you're studying, whatever's in front of you is the most important thing in the whole world right now.
Right.
And you need to enjoy that moment and that and take it. If you're on a deadline and you forgot to study for 2 weeks and then you cram that's not cool.
Yeah.
You should study every single day.
Right.
If you're trying to, you know the exam's coming, you know that these things are coming, do that.
And find what helps you focus. Like if you have trouble focusing while you're reading, make some notes, or, take breaks and that sort of thing.
I know there are different thought processes on music while studying. Some people don't like any noise while they study.
If it's deep and I really have to concentrate, I want silence.
I have to put earplugs in when I study.
Okay.
To get rid of the white noise around me because I have trouble focusing on it. But there are times that I listen to some good music and I'm studying and I associate what I'm studying to that music. And there's something that stimulates the brain. So when you read something, when you see something, when you read, see, say, and then, if you have a smell in the room, like a candle burn, sometimes that helps when in studying. I say all that just because there are factors that are around each and every individual that keep them from focusing. And sometimes we have to just enjoy. So there's an emotion connected with the action, and you're enjoying it.
Right.
Like I can look at the time. So I'm looking at our recording on my phone. I can sit here and I can look at that and go, man, I can see my voice going into the microphone through the wire, and it's going into the recording, and it's coming back to my phone via Bluetooth, and I can see the signal going up and down. To me, that's fascinating because I'm transferring sound into electrical, analog to digital, and then digital to analog.
Right.
And when it's analog, it's coming out of my speakers whenever I'm mixing the show. Now, I can go deep in all of that. I can do all that stuff. But having the moment of just being and understanding that these things, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's
well,
being.
I like the idea of what you're saying about creating the atmosphere that works best for you while you're doing things. Like, for example, if I'm going to write, whether it's fiction or creatively, however, I either want silence or I like to go into a coffee shop and have the background noise. Like that to me is actually, I can actually focus better if I'm in that kind of atmosphere.
Get
with
the
some
walla
background
walla
noise.
in the background.
Yeah, I like that.
In the sound design world, we call that walla walla.
Walla walla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the filler noise of in the background for film and television.
Right.
So this is a really good subject, Amy. I'm really enjoying this. I think this is a great one.
I have a couple of scriptures I want to throw into the mix here in just a moment, too.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say that this learning how to be is probably the most important thing that you can do. Because well, think about this. All right, I'm going to go hold on to your scriptures and stuff. If I don't get this idea out, what if, sound like one of the one of those TV shows. What if there was no this, that, and the other?
Wasn't that the old Hewlett Packard commercial?
Yeah.
Or
What
something?
if you?
What
can-
if? Yeah.
But when Adam and Eve took the fruit from the knowledge of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, what happened? They started to die.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to die before that.
Mm.
Adam lasted for 900 some years.
930.
930 years. And so Adam lived for 930 years. The average person now, I think, is like 70, 75.
I haven't checked the latest, but
I don't know.
what
But
the
I mean,
averages are.
longevity is coming back because it used to be 30, 40, 50, 60 years old.
Right.
Longevity is coming back. Are we, because of Christ, are we returning back to living longer? I mean, that's a possibility. But I think what happened was they had the knowledge of good and evil in their head, and it caused stress. It caused anxiety. It caused all of the things that we are not supposed to carry.
That's good.
And it caused them to deteriorate because the cares of this world started to take them over. Right. And so they had to do sacrifices to alleviate that at that point. And then Jesus came and made us a new creation.
To undo what
Adam had done. And that is phenomenal because that means I came that you would have life and life more abundant. And he said to Nicodemus, because Nicodemus was like, Rabbi, how do I get salvation? He said, be born again. What does that mean? Well, become a child again. Become a childlike. Become not childish, childlike in faith, and go back to how Adam was before the fall. And I don't know of very many people that live in that arena.
Right.
Most of them we call hippies.
Yeah.
And they know a partial part of God, but they've tapped into something.
And I love that you said that because they have tapped into something. Before I came to know Christ and to surrender my life to Jesus, I, was part of a group of people, and we were kind of hippies, and we really didn't care what society thought of us.
Right.
And we had tapped into a level of freedom. Now, it wasn't the full freedom that we have in Christ. But sometimes I think back to that and I think, yeah, why am I getting caught up in being trying to reach a certain social norm that's just, a
Who
social
are we trying
construct.
to impress?
Exactly. And, so I think back to those days and there was something there that was tapping into a little bit of that. But again, not the fullness of it. And I think, you're right. I don't know of anybody that's walking this out completely, but I think we're attempting to walk it out.
I think we are. Well, I mean, what did they say? We're naked.
They didn't realize.
They didn't realize that they were naked. But they said they were naked. What caused that? What caused them to realize that they were naked? It was a thought of comparison. They started comparing each other.
Yeah, there was a level of shame. They knew no shame before.
Right.
They knew none of that.
Right.
Right.
They didn't know that there was good or evil. They just knew there was God in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ. There's another part where Christ redeemed us.
Right.
There's therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ. We don't have to compare ourselves to others. We don't have to live up to their social norms. We don't have to, nothing against people who go out and get degrees and do all that stuff. I like that I've got, I went for my master's. I did all my stuff. And
we
you
still live in
too.
this world and we have a purpose
Right.
while we're here and whatever that
But because
takes
if
is what it takes.
you graduated high school or didn't graduate high school and you're talking to somebody who's got 5 doctorates in, whatever it is, post hole digging, I don't know, but there is no difference in those two people because they shouldn't be comparing themselves to each other.
No difference in value.
No difference in value. Now, they have maybe a little bit more knowledge, but they probably lost some of the innocence.
Possibly.
There's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying everybody that gets a high degree has lost their, innocence of returning back to God and being humble.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people that are well-educated that we know that are extremely humble, and they wouldn't tell you they're a doctor if their life depended on it. They just call me this.
Or they would, maybe, but that's not the whole sole focus of who they are and their identity.
They liked the knowledge. They wanted to learn. Mm-hmm. And right now, in this whole situation, what we're talking about here of just being, both of them have got to learn how to just be, because this one's worried about money and all of the stuff, and this one's worried about how to teach what they've learned, because really, unless you're working in the field in which you went to be a doctor in, you're teaching.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So
everyone has to deal with everyday life.
Absolutely.
But we're learning to get there. And, even anecdotally, I mean, this might not be proof of how this works, but for me, I have some proof. There have been days where, for example, I might feel overwhelmed with all the things I need to do at my job. Mm-hmm. And so I've got a big list. But I'm also like a little worn out, and I have approached it before like, you know what, I'm going to treat today like it's a vacation day. I'm going to go into work, and I'm going to do something that's relaxing. Mm-hmm. Instead of maybe certain things that are on my list. I'm going to maybe do this that's enjoyable. And actually, I've had days like that where I was actually more productive.
Absolutely.
Because I was approaching it with a different mindset. So having like a vacation mindset, I'm just calling it, or a mindset of just being actually can make us more productive.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't feel like work. Mm-hmm. You start doing something and it feels fun. It's play.
Yeah. And you touching on something else right there. You said it earlier, that the atmosphere in which we create helps us to study. Mm-hmm. It helps us to work. So all you business owners, create the right atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Find what atmosphere works for your company, and I guarantee you productivity will go up.
Yeah, atmosphere is huge.
Guarantee you that if you got a bunch of people backstabbing everybody and they're clawing and stabbing and everybody's telling on everybody and everybody's, you need to get that under control for one, and create an atmosphere of peace,
right,
joy, and camaraderie.
Yeah.
Everybody is working together to make your company successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Invest in the people.
In the people.
Yeah.
We just heard that this past week of some friends in Nashville were talking about that's how they got. We heard the story from a friend of ours of a guy that took over a plant that he said, I invested in the people.
Right. Was it the president who was wondering, how did you turn things around so well?
The CEO was, he was a plant manager. Mm-hmm. He's like, how'd you turn this around? Mm-hmm. How'd you make it profitable? He said, I invested in the people. He's like, well, yeah, but what was your strategy? I invested in the people. Right. The people I invested in, I created an atmosphere of good.
Yeah. And where the people felt valued, I would say.
Where they felt like they were a part of the company, and they took pride in their work, which there's a lot we can go into there. But learning how to be and creating the atmosphere to just be is like recreating Eden. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to read a couple of verses that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this topic. Yep. Psalm 46:10 is probably familiar to most people who know the Word of God, but I hadn't thought of it for a while, but I love what it says. It says, be still and know that I am God. It's simple, but I like to be reminded of that, because it's not just that we're being still in our own strength. We can be still because we know who God is. And it also harkens to 2 Timothy 1:12, which says, when Paul says, for this reason, and before this, he was talking about all that he goes through for the sake of the gospel. But he said, for this reason, I also suffer these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed, for I know whom I have believed, and I'm persuaded that he is able to keep what I have committed to him until that day. And so he's saying, God is able to keep me.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be ashamed. I know him. And so going back to the idea of just being, we can know it up here, but it's got to become in our heart. And that becomes more of a way that we walk in our lives, the more that we know who God really is.
Just a heart knowledge, not just a head knowledge. We can know all day long that things are a certain way, but until we get it in here, we don't really become an expert at it.
Yeah.
I think there are some people that have studied a certain subject for many, 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 many years, and they know it like it's second nature.
Right.
And then there's other people that live in their head and they can't learn anything.
That's a great analogy. I love that. So we can grow in this just being in him and being in his presence and resting and being at peace and all those things. We can grow in that every day.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Why don't you guys do that too?
Hey, like the Beatles said, let it be, let it be, let Aunt be, let Aunt be. Is that right?
Why do we always do that?
I don't know.
It's the Beatles meets Mayberry. Let Aunt be.
Beatles and Mayberry.
Let it be.
Let it be.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And we will see you next time.
Have a great week.
Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel. Drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you prefer audio podcasts, please follow us on your favorite streaming platform.